All right, let's talk about XRP and why it's my favorite cryptocurrency and its importance in today's global financial system. XRP is a cryptocurrency developed by a American payments infrastructure company called Ripple. Ripple offers different products and payment solutions for big businesses and banks. Products that help facilitate cross-border payments, help markets with liquidity, and help banks adopt central bank digital currencies. These products help businesses and banks settle big transactions in seconds instead of, days or weeks like a traditional wire transfer would. One of the ways Ripple offers faster payments is by offering their proprietary technology for faster payments, but they also offer settlement in XRP, which is kind of like in the US, it's not regulated yet, so no one's really using it. But outside of the US, a lot of people and institutions are interested in the product because of the speed and security. To fully understand the use case for XRP, let's quickly go over how Ripple payments work. So the first step is the sender initiates a financial transaction using their own currency. A currency exchange on the Ripple network converts the sender's currency into XRP. Ripple's payment protocol sends the XRP to the recipient. A pathfinding algorithm selects the fastest and most cost-efficient route for the transaction across border, taking factors such as exchange rates and transaction fees into consideration. Step 4. Trusted nodes on the Ripple network validates the transaction and adds it to the distributed ledger. And step 5. The XRP transfer is exchanged for the recipient's fiat currency and credited to the recipient's account. All right, so to fully understand what I just explained, you have to look at how wire transfers work nowadays. Okay, so a sender sends money to a local bank, right? And they want to send it to the receiver, right? So they send it through their bank and they get charged a fee. Now that bank sends it to another bank, that bank gets charged a fee, and then that bank sends it to the institution, probably charging another fee, then finally receiving, the receiver gets the money on the other side. So you could see how there's a lot of intermediaries between the transactions until the receiver finally receives the amount of money owed to them. So XRP streamlines this process, removing all the intermediaries, basically acting as the intermediary for a fraction of the cost, right? The reason that there's so many fees involved in the transaction of the bank is because it takes time to verify the transaction and make sure that all the information matches up, and then that counterparty risk basically they charge you for that counterparty risk, that time it takes, for the money to be sent. So basically what XRP does is it removes all of that, all of the counterparty risk by acting, well, not acting, but basically the ledger itself acts like a record for the banks to kind of reference when they're transacting. So like that's the biggest issue is, if the banks have different records, then there's no trust between banks. But if they all have the same record, like the XRP ledger, then they could, send money without any restrictions, right? So, and this is what it does. So if, let's say, somebody wants to send money through the XRP ledger, they would use their native fiat currency, right? Like the US dollar, the yen, the won, whatever, Australian dollar, whatever it is. And they'll convert that into XRP. And that XRP will be sent over to the receiver and then converted back to their native currency, whatever it is, it could be a different currency. And all that happens instead of having it happen in 3 days or a week, right? And charging you, like tons of money for your transaction. All that happens 0 to 3 seconds and costs you a fraction of a cent. Okay, so do you understand why this technology is important? Okay, and to drive home the point even further, I'm going to explain to you what's happening globally right now that makes XRP even more valuable. The US dollar has been the global reserve currency since the 1940s. Now, the global reserve currency is just a currency that the global community, all the countries choose to trade with, right? They trade all major commodities and resources with a certain currency, right? One that they trust above all. Now, over time, the United States has kind of abused their power as a global reserve currency, um, basically overprinting their money, using their status to gain political edge, geopolitical edge against people, other countries, and other countries are kind of waking up and seeing this, and they're shifting away from the dollar now. And as you know, the United States goes through more financial crises. All it does is print more money, and as the global demand for the dollar kind of dwindles, the United States will be left holding all these dollars, these depreciating dollars that over time actually lose their value. Today, you see other factions in the world that are moving away from the dollar, like the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, South Africa, China, and I think Saudi Arabia now, and Iran maybe. So there's a growing list of countries that are basically trying to get rid of their dollars and replace it with something else. Now, if we replace the US dollar with another global reserve currency, um, we would just fall into something that happens over and over and over again throughout history. The rise and death of reserve currencies, they last about 100 years, and then they're replaced. On top of which, the world would be forced to choose another superpower and to trust in and their reserve currency. And usually when that happens, that leads to war. That when a superpower is challenged, usually there's at a time of decline, right? When, as of now, the U.S. is kind of on a decline, and other powers or other superpowers like China are rising up, and usually when things like that happen, there is an altercation, usually a war. With the invention of central bank digital currencies, we see countries moving towards a digital currency rather than traditional fiat paper money. The question still remains, whose technology do we trust the most? We still have to pick a global reserve currency. This is where I think XRP could really shine. The XRP ledger and the XRP token or the asset could be used as technically a global reserve currency because it's currency agnostic. The X in XRP is a designation for a currency that has no like national association. So it's really agnostic and doesn't require any trust, right? It's a piece of technology. It's an open source technology that Ripple develops, and anyone could use and build upon. So if anyone wanted to create central bank digital currencies on the XRP ledger, they would have a trustless system to basically trade with other countries if they wanted it. Whether companies or banks want to send millions of dollars or remittance payments that are only like $50 to $10, Ripple has a good solution for them, and there's a lot of customers interested. I'll probably make a part 2, so stay tuned.